Simple, also called the Shrink of MLM. Invited Jeff to come on today as a guest speaker because he is a friend, he's very knowledgeable, he's very generous with his time. Also, he has personally recruited over 500 people frontline. He's built 2 teams of over 5,000, and his teams have produced over $10 million in sales. So I love learning from him. I'll tell you a little bit more about him in a little bit, but I wanted to get right to the lesson so that you can benefit from this. And hello, Laura. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for watching. Love, if you're watching the replay, love to hear that. Love to also know where you're from. And of course, thank you for sharing with people that might need to know or want. Thank you for learning about these prospecting tips. So, Jeff, I'm going to mention. Well, first of all, yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
I know your schedule is jam-packed and that you made time for this. And actually, Jeff has agreed to do this every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, to give you all some samples of a class that we teach. And I'll tell you about that in a little bit. First of all, I'm going to mention the 3 things real quick that every prospect asks themselves before they join your business. I actually learned this from you. So very grateful to know this. Number 1, they ask, can I do what you did to get started? Number 2, do I have the time to do what you did? And number 3, am I okay doing this with friends, families, and neighbors? So now I would like to hear more about each of these.
Perfect. So what this talks about is when somebody sits down and they're watching you and they're getting started. So this is actually one of the rules for getting people started. They're looking at you going, can I do this? You know, so however you're presenting to them, however you're sitting down, however you're sharing this with them, they're asking, can I do this? So what I found is if you don't have something you're reading from, if you don't have a script that you're using, if you don't have a format that you're using, what people are like, yeah, I don't know if I can do this. Because a lot of times people look at things like when it comes to work, what most people do is they look at work based on, you know, the rules, the functionality, the system, the layout. You know, here's exactly what to say. I mean, think about it. At McDonald's, they don't say, here's a cash register, go. They're like, this is what we say every single time, no matter where you go in the country and actually where you go in the world. You know, hello, welcome to McDonald's. You know, if you're overseas, buen venido. You know, I don't remember welcome. You know, to McDonald's. It's the same. I've been in not France, but I've been in French Canadian Quebec, and it was the same thing. You know, they said hello, they said welcome to McDonald's. It was the same thing. So what I realized is they have a script. I mean, think about this. They have a script for a $7 an hour job that, you know, can be run by a 15-year-old. The restaurant, McDonald's, can be ran by teenagers. But then we get into business and people are like, hey, good luck. Go for it. You can say, be yourself. I'm like, that's the last thing you need to be. You know, being yourself put you in the financial situation you're in. We're trying to get you out of that situation. So why not, instead of using whatever, why not use the best technique? So that's one of the things, however you contact people, however you invite and however you present, people are going to ask that question, can I do what you just did? Then that leads to the second part. The second part is do I have the time to do what you're doing? So that's why I say it's very convenient now to be able to do a Facebook Live and present the information to somebody. It's very convenient to pick up the phone and call somebody and tell them what's going on, but have a 15-minute presentation, 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, okay. You know, and you can even say, hey, let me just read you this. So for duplication purposes, for relatability purposes, can I just read you this? You know, make it really, really simple. And people are like, oh yeah, sure. You know, because when you're able to do that, then people are like, okay, not only do I think I can do what you just did, it doesn't seem to be that, but what you have to bring to it is you have to bring your personality, you have to bring your energy, you have to bring your excitement, you have to bring your commitment level. But the idea is to be clear, to be confident and concise. Clear meaning there is a message, there is a format. Confident means you've read through it many times where it sounds like you almost know what you're talking about. And concise, make sure it's short enough that you respect the person's time. So if you ask for 10 to 15 minutes and you go for 45, you lied. You lied and you broke that second rule where it's like, look, it's just 15 minutes. Well, why are we sitting here 2 hours later? I just don't think I have the time for this. We're talking about something you can do spare time, but then, some people are like, what you have to do is you've got to do this, then you have to drive over to the house, then you have to put the product on, then you got to have them try it, then they've got to have a reaction, and then you get back with them a week later and you follow up. I'm like, that's too long. That's too much. So number one, can I do what you do? Can I do what you just did? Number two, do I have the time to do what you just did? And number three, do I feel okay doing that, with my friends, family, and acquaintances? If it breaks any one of these rules, am I okay doing it? So whatever the process is, does it seem really pushy? If it seems really pushy, if it's super salesy, if there's a lot of technique, well, first of all, the average person is going to be like, I can't do that. Right off the bat, it breaks the first rule. I don't think I can do that. Secondly, I don't have the time to do that, or the patience to do that, or the skill to do that. And then third, I wouldn't feel comfortable actually transferring this over to the people that I talk to. So that's why I've always, shared with people, make it simple, make it super simple. Hey, do me a favor. I just want you to hear about what I'm doing. So if you run into the right person, you could refer them over to me. What I found is I always get a yes with that. People are like, sure, I'm about to pick up the phone. And this is, after I'm done with this, I've actually been putting together a list because I belong to a networking group, not a network marketing group, but a networking group, a social networking group, a relationship-based networking group, an association that we belong to. Now, there's tons of them out there. There's Rainmakers. There's BNI, Business Network International. There's Gold Star groups. There's probably 100 different versions of this type of networking group and club, but the whole idea is the collective group, we're all trying to basically, it's a referral based. So it's the easiest thing in the world, and I'm surprised I've never actually been, contacted by any of these people. Hello. Is it Pi P? I just see P. Sorry, I can't read from this distance, but somebody just joined us and says hello. Melanie's with us. Lucy's with us. Hello. So I belong to this group, and I'm going to pick up the phone, and it's going to be really simple. Hey, we both belong to this networking group, and I was just wondering if you had a minute because I wanted to find out a little bit about who you are and what you do, so that way I can see if I can refer you, and then I'd also like to be able to introduce to you what I do so you can refer me. That's it. People are like, oh, yeah, sure. That was the whole reason you got into the group. But here's what's interesting. That's the reason we get into the group. But never once have I belonged to one of these groups and received that phone call. Never once. Mm-hmm. So it tells me a lot about these groups is that it's a lot of inexperienced people. It's a lot of people who don't understand, don't get the game. And for a long time, I never belonged to any of these groups. And the reason being is I realized it was full of amateurs. It was full of people who didn't know how to network. Because if you already knew how to network, you wouldn't have to show up to a group to network. You'd already be doing it out in the real world. So what I found is if this group was large, if this group was 500, 600, 700 people, and I already knew they had inexperience and they weren't really, really good at this, technique, what I will do is come in and actually teach the technique. And what I found is if I come in and teach the technique and I'm the teacher, what happens is that makes me attractive as a leader. That makes me attractive as as somebody to ask questions to, somebody who can help out. And here's the thing, I give a lot of information away for free. I help a lot of people for free. I probably leave a lot of money on the table, but the objective isn't necessarily always to gain money. It's to gain influence. It's to get the ability to have other people refer you. That's what I like more about it. And a lot of times, here's the other thing, I make a lot of great friends. And if you can make a lot of great friends, that's almost more valuable than the money, because then when it comes down to it and you need help and you need something, instead of asking, hey, buy my stuff, hey, buy my stuff, hey, buy my stuff, hey, try my stuff, it's like, what else have you contributed to this person? If you're asking first before you know anything about the person, typically what happens is you're in sales mode. And if you're always in sales mode, then you're not as attractive as the person that's there to help out. You're not as attractive. You haven't built a bridge yet. So you have, it's very hard ability to get them to cross the bridge before the bridge has been built. That's just kind of what I've found in the industry. So I'm picking up the phone and doing just that. Hey, I find that we both belong to this group. Can you do me a huge favor? I actually want to know who you are and what you do. I have some questions for you if you have a couple minutes, and I'd love to be able to share with what I do. Now, here's really what's going to happen. I'm actually going to interview them. I'm going to take out my agent profile. I'm going to ask them all the questions. I'm going to get to know them better than probably their best friend. I'm going to ask more personal you know, questions about their life and what goes on, and find out more about their motivation, more about their personality, more about where they're going. And then by the time they say, well, what do you do? I'm going to be like, you know what? It's really busy right now. I'm actually going to get off the phone because I've got to, you know, I'm going to call the next person basically because I already have another schedule of people set up. But I'd love to be able to get together with you and have coffee. Now, that brings in the law of reciprocation. The law of reciprocation says if I give, what happens in return? Mm-hmm. They'll give back.
Right.
So that's how I play the game. You know, I play to win. I understand human psychology, and because I understand human psychology, I play with it, and not play with it in the fact of like I'm trying to manipulate it, but I use it to my advantage. So that way I can actually help people. And in the end, I end up getting what I want, which is the referral, which is somebody who will sit down and listen to what I'm doing in the right way. They don't just know what I do, but they actually, I've had so many people tell me, wow, and now seeing what you just did, I realized what just happened. And I'm like, dang, that was really smooth. How did you do that? Mm-hmm. And it leads for, you know, again, a teaching opportunity. So that's a little bit about, you know, this technique, why, how it works, and, you know, what we do on a regular basis, and, you know, why we've been able to bring on so many people, why we've been able to build the teams we've been able to build.
Great. Thank you so much. And I want to welcome Laura, Lucy, Marilyn, Pilani, Lloyd, and Michael. We're glad you're with us today. And if you're getting value, we love it if you hit like, share, comment. Love to hear what you're getting from this. And also, if you have any questions, we'll be taking questions a little bit at the end. So this is a sample of what we teach in our Sunday night class. And one of the most duplicatable prospecting script I've ever heard in all of my years of being a full-time network marketer and the last 10 years of being a generic teacher of network marketing is a script that I learned from Jeff. And it's so simple. So that would satisfy question number one. Remember, for those who are just joining us, the 3 questions that every prospect asks themselves before they join your business is: number 1, can I do what you just did? Number 2, do I have the time to do it? And number 3, am I okay doing this with people that I know and love? So number 1 is, can I do this? And of course that means it has to be duplicatable. So here's the script, my favorite script, and I call it the favor script because it's asked for a favor. Learns this from Jeff. And it's this: hey, can I ask you a favor? I want to let you know what I'm doing in case you run across the right person. You can refer them to me. Hey, can I ask you a favor? I want to let you know what I'm doing in case you run across the right person. You can refer them to me. And the reason that this is duplicatable is because it works with all 4 personalities. It works with every situation, even people that you have already asked about your business, because now it's not about them anymore. It's about referring somebody. So they always, this script always gets a yes, or never gets a no anyway. And people might say yes, now, later, maybe, when I can get together, because you also say, is this a good time? So it never gets a no. It does not get objections. It fits all 4 personalities. Anybody can do it. A high influencer or a low influencer, you know, a low influence person to a high one, and vice versa. Your team can do it. You text it to 10 people, and of that, the average is that 1 or 2 will sign up with as a customer or distributor, especially if you followed up with a 10-minute presentation like we teach how to do. So I put this all into my book, Always Get a Yes, and I'll put the link for that book. This pages 5 to 12 of that book contain this script, and also how to do your 10-minute presentation follow up, and also how to use it with network and referral groups like Jeff just did, or actually set up a 3-way call. So this is the easiest duplicatable thing that I have ever seen that you can give to that you can use to grow your business fast, and then give to your team so they get a fast start, so they don't quit, right? So they get inspired, and so they have success fast, and then can teach it to their team. So I am happy to teach this method. And I want to tell you a little bit of our story, but first I wanted to cover 3 more things that your prospect is asking themselves about you before they join you. So this is kind of like a little bonus section of this today. And by the way, anybody has a question, please type that in, because we'll take questions in a little bit, and also comments. And what's your favorite takeaway? Love to hear that. Love if you share this with people that you know could use this, because we want to help as many people as we can. Okay, so the three questions that I also learned from Jeff that prospects ask themselves before they join you is, do you care about me? Number two, can you help me? In other words, have you gotten to where I want to get? And number three, can I trust you? So Jeff, can you tell us a little bit more about these things, how you arrived at these and how they show up in your business?
Well, I mean, the thing is I didn't create it. Most of everything that I've ever run into, it's really happened because I've been around great people, and that actually I learned from John Maxwell in his book Everybody Communicates, Few Connect. He said there's three questions that people ask before they follow somebody. And if you look at the 5 levels of leadership, you know, level number 1 is permission. Permission. Position. Somebody is given a position, and therefore you're supposed to follow them. This is usually in a job situation. So management is actually the lowest level of leadership that exists. So when somebody's like, you have to listen to me because I'm your manager. Do you know how hard it was to work to get to this position? Well, the reality is it wasn't something you worked for. It was something you were given. So you actually have almost no leadership at all, other than the fact that somebody appointed you to oversee. So it's actually the lowest level of leadership that actually exists. The second level of leadership is permission. And in permission, it's because you might have been there longer. You might have been looked up to by somebody else. But here's the interesting thing. When it moves to permission, it really has nothing to do with that person is a superior, or nothing to do with the person's position at all. It has nothing to do with position. It has more to do with, can I, do you know what's going on? Do you know where to go? So the first thing is, can you help me? Hey, I'm looking for this. Can you help me? And if the person says yes, then all of a sudden leadership has transferred. Now I'm listening. Hey, I need help with this. Okay, I can help you. Okay, great. I'm now listening. So all of a sudden leadership is transferred to the second level, which is permission. I give you permission to lead me. Now, the second thing is, after you get that, that buy-in, if you say that I give somebody permission, the second thing is, do you care about me? Are you just telling me this to get something from me, or are you telling me this to actually help me? And if you're actually helping the person, I think the person probably figures that out really quickly. Hey, hold on one second, let me find that. Okay, here's what to do. Here's how it works. Here's where to go. And that's awesome. And the last part is, based on what the information they give, can I trust this person? Can I trust this person? Do other people around seem to also have this level of respect for this person? Are there other people approaching this person asking for help? And that's where, you get that level. So we're really talking about level 2 of the 5 levels of leadership. Level 1 being position, level 2 being permission, level 3 being production. So can I trust this person? For instance, if we're in a sales business and I say, hey, this really isn't working, I'm not getting there, hey, I hear that you have big numbers. I hear that you're able to close people. I hear that you're able to recruit people. I hear that you're able to build big teams. Here's what I'm saying. Can you help me? Well, if I help that person, the person has to say, well, is this person doing this for a manipulative reason? If they're not on my team, why else would I help them unless to help them? I have my own team. So actually I'm taking away from what I am doing. I'm actually losing money by helping somebody else. But I never look at it that way. If I help somebody else in the industry and they have success, then I have somebody else to point to that's third party that has nothing to do financially. And the person can come back and say, look, this person helped me and I'm not even on their team. So that leads to the trust factor. Once you look at the numbers and the numbers on the board and the person's like, okay, here this person is in another position in another company with new people, and they're succeeding again. Again, they're moving up the chart. Again, they're producing money. Again, they're helping people on their team. Again, they're having success. That's where you build trust over time. So that the third level of the 5 levels of leadership is production. Can this person produce? Can this person produce regardless of the circumstances? So that's 3 of the 5 levels. If you want the rest of them, I would say definitely go buy the book. There's a great video online on YouTube, The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell. You'll know you're on the right video because it has a blue background.
Thank you so much. Very, very important and deep and powerful information, effective. I'd like to say hi to Wanda Malfarah, who's watching. And just a word about what you, Wanda. If you've seen my professional photos, she is an incredible, just the top, got to be one of the best in the world photographers in Montreal. And you should check out her site. Just fantastic photos of people, and you may want to go see her. So welcome. Glad you're on here. This what Jeff and I are doing on these Tuesday Facebook Lives every 3 p.m. Eastern time is we're giving a sample. What we just did is a sample of our Sunday night class that we teach. And it's called the Quick Start Basics for Network Marketers. And what it covers is the 10 core commitments that have proved themselves to be the best basic training over decades in network marketing. And that is, I'll say the 10 core real quick. Number 1, getting started right. 2, be here a year from now. 3, professional development. 4, market daily. 5, present daily. 6, attend a weekly presentation. 7, attend a weekly training. 8, attend a monthly regional. And 9, attend all company conventions. And 10, have a monthly massive action plan. Our story, real quick. I met Jeff 4 years ago on an Eric Worre discussion. We have been in touch ever since, banting ideas back and forth. And I learned about Jeff's script that you just mentioned here. Decided that what I was learning from him was enough to revamp what I taught in my school for network marketers for 10 years, the MLM Millionaire Club. And Jeff, talk about trust. I really began to trust you because you were always so kind and generous, super, super generous with your time, even coming on the school and speaking just for fun, just because you love to teach like I do and to share. And eventually he became a speaker on there quite a bit. And we said, you know, we both love teaching network marketers. Let's teach together. And we complement each other so well with our personalities and our experience and everything. So I added his scripts to my book, Always Get a Yes, which I'll put a link for there. And we also began teaching on Sunday nights. Hello, George. Welcome. Glad you're here. We began teaching on Sunday nights, which is essentially teaching the classes in the school. I will put a link to that one as well. When you join that class, which is only $25 a month, you also get the book, the Always Get a Yes book. And that class is really all the important basic stuff that you need to know to move your business fast and to train your people to do that fast. It teaches how to recruit 10 people in 10 days, the 10 core commitments I mentioned, eliminates fear, it builds confidence, build a great team, and contribute. Now, Jeff and I have each helped people succeed highly. And you could hire either of us as coaches for private work for $250 an hour, or you can join the weekly lives and have fun and interact there for only $25 a month. I don't know how long it will be at that price, but it's every Sunday at 9 p.m. You can plug in. There's replays, of course, on YouTube, and there are also closed captions, by the way. So I will include a link to all of this. And here's what some people are saying about that class. This class has been amazing in helping me launch my business. That's Joyce Shalkowski. Lucy Morris says it's helped me to shift my thinking to how the very successful people do things. And Doris Haskins says the value you're giving your membership is simply amazing. So we want to give you the sample so that if you know of anyone who can use this, that you can send them our way or refer us or even introduce us on Facebook Messenger is very nice. Or just share this video with them. So that is our story. Jeff, do you have anything to add or comment right now?
I mean, it's actually just what you said. You know, both of our time was limited, and we were talking and discussing, you know, what was going on. And I said, you know, if we're each charging $250 an hour to coach people, and we came together, basically we could build numbers. You know, rather than doing a one-on-one, rather than doing, you know, a one-time video, what if it was live? What if people can actually come in and ask questions and figure things out? We can go over the basics. We can go over some 1% things. The material you had in your back office was amazing. You know, the 52 weeks that you had combined information over 10 years into a package. I said that could be used on the back half. Those lessons, you know, have amazing value. What we can do is kind of condense it and put it together in a training program that can allow people to basically understand step one, which is get in and recruit. Get in and recruit. You know, step one is get in and recruit. You know, I have many friends in the industry. They're like, oh my gosh, this part is so hard. I said, well, actually, what's funny is it will be hard to break through. It's like 75% of the game is learning how to recruit. I said, then, you know, a different level, you know, there's a different devil at every level, is what, you know, a friend of mine has said. And I said, okay, well, what does that mean? He said, well, once you figure out how to recruit, you'll step into the next phase, which is how do you get the people you recruited to become successful? How do you get them to move? You know, because the number one complaint is I can't get anybody. The number two complaint is I've got people and I can't get them to do anything. You know, so that's the second problem that exists. And what I can tell you is, you know, from there are issues even from there. You know, it would seem like after you could recruit and after you could teach people to recruit, everything would work out and it'd just be really simple and easy. And then there's a whole nother level of leadership of how to stay consistent and how to grow the team, how to create momentum, how to advance momentum. How to keep things moving in the right direction, and, you know, creating a vision for people, and, you know, making sure that it's all working when you're not there. I mean, there's pieces to the puzzle that need to be learned. So what this basics class is it's level one. It's like the first stuff you need to know. You know, inside of martial arts, you know, there's just a couple things we do. We block, we punch, we kick, you know, we run away. You know, hopefully you don't have to run away much, but, you know, those are just some of the basics, you know, keeping in shape. And what we do is we train the basics over and over and over and over and over again. So that way those basics become so cemented that it's not necessarily a conscious thought, but an unconscious thought to be able to defend ourselves. And the same thing is recruiting can be the same thing. You know, what's 1 + 1? People say 2. What's 2 + 2? It's 4. What's 4 + 4? It's 8. What if recruiting became that easy? The only reason math becomes that easy is because you do it over and over and over and over again until that stuff becomes easy. That's how we want to make, you know, recruiting. That's what this class is about. And rather than charging the $250, which would be probably a great value if you got both of us, I mean, you'd be saving at least $250. I said that probably wouldn't be real financially okay for most people. I said, but if we collect a group of people who are all learning and we can create a mastermind out of it, really a forum to learn, that would be kind of the best of, you know, all worlds. They'd be able to, you know, work with both of us. We'll put it together in a class where we both spend 90 minutes putting it together. We've got all the information ready, and then we can deliver the information and people can ask questions. We can fill everything out. And I said, you know, if it was $100, it would probably still be a good deal. But, you know, a lot of people would be like, ooh, $100, that I'm going to have to move something out of my budget. But $25, you know, people spend $25 on a night out they don't remember. People spend $25 on a DVD they don't watch. You know, people spend $25 on shoes they don't wear. So $25 seemed like a very reasonable amount to start getting the information. And then from there, if they need more help, they can upgrade and they can, you know, seek each one of us out for maybe some one-on-one. So that was kind of the purpose of what we put together. And obviously it's been successful because every week it seems like there's new people joining. Every week there's new people plugging in. Every week there's new people on our call, you know, requesting information. And, you know, one step better is we've recorded it. We've put it online. We've put it in that group. We've made it unlisted. So it's just for the people who are involved, you know, but we also made it closed caption. We also made a closed caption. The reason being is I had an organization, a deaf organization, that was about 1,100 people, and 1,100 people who wanted the information. They just weren't able to find it anywhere. So I said, if we do this, we're going to have to tape it. We're going to have to put it on closed caption. We're going to have to make it available to that group. So that's another thing that we're doing just to be able to help out more people. So when we finally laid it all out and put it together, I said, you know, this is the right direction to go. And we'll know if we're on track by the amount of people who request the information. And that's been pretty amazing. That's what we've done.
Yeah, thank you. I just love teaching together and bringing our strengths, and it's just been amazing. And by the way, that $25 a month membership includes membership in the MLM Millionaire Club and access to a whole year of curriculum. And they always get a yes book and a ton of business tools. So it's pretty incredible. Again, I don't know how long that we're going to have it at this price, but we're happy to offer it at this time. And we're here every Tuesday, 3 p.m., giving a sample of it. Next Tuesday, the topic is the 7 ways to qualify your prospect. In other words, how to know your ideal person to talk to so you can make the most of the time and energy that you have prospecting. Everybody's time's limited, right? And lots of people in the building network marketing business have full-time jobs, and many of them have families. So they have to make sure that the time that they spend is going to bring the greatest results. And one of the ways to do that is to qualify your prospects and talk to the very best, most likely ones to succeed. And next Tuesday, we're going to cover that, the 7 ways to qualify your prospect. Jeff and I also invite you to join us on a free class that we teach every weekday, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern time, called the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. We just did one today. It was dynamite. You can find that on our page. You can find the replay for that on the Facebook group, MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. So we have all the replays in there. Every day we cover one of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership by John Maxwell. Eric Worre just did an interview with John Maxwell. He's called him the #1 leadership expert in the world, and he's arranged for John to be a key speaker in the December GoPro Recruiting Mastery that he holds annually in Las Vegas. So Eric Worre thinks a ton of John Maxwell, and so do we. And Jeff happens to be a certified John Maxwell trainer for years. So we are able to bring this to you and partner to bring this for you. Again, you can become a member of that Facebook group at the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. It's free. You can share with your team. Hope I'm not giving you too much information here, but we're doing a lot of really great stuff, and we'd love to have you. Any closing thoughts, Jeff?
Nope, that's it. That's how it works. That's what we do.
What we do.
I just say, get the information you need. Come on, experience it. You won't regret it. Everybody so far has been like, wow, you pick up at least one thing to be able to recruit one more person. What would that be worth to your organization every week?
Yeah. Even if it's just investment of time to learn it. So if we improve 1% every day, that means that at the end of the year, we've improved 365%, right? So let's do that one thing consistently and improve ourselves, and we're here to help. Thank you each for thank you each for joining us, Jeff. Thank you for coming on today and letting me interview you. We'll do it again next Tuesday.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.